Captain J. Park stood motionless in the massive circular chamber of the Galactic Council, his dark eyes scanning the faces of alien representatives who looked down on humanity with open contempt. The massive holographic display behind him flickered with images of human colonies, small, seemingly fragile outposts scattered across the distant edges of known space. "Humans," announced Krillax, the towering reptilian ambassador from the Orion Confederacy, "are nothing more than biological accidents. Your technology is primitive. Your defenses are laughable." His forked tongue flickered with each word of mockery. Around the chamber, representatives from dozens of advanced civilizations nodded and chuckled. Holographic projections showed humanity's current technological capabilities: simple fusion drives, basic quantum communication networks, and modest planetary defense systems. To the gathered aliens, humans looked like children playing with advanced toys they barely understood. What they didn't know was happening deep beneath the surface of Earth and in hidden orbital research stations. Project Horizon was more than just a military development program, it was humanity's silent revolution. In a nondescript research facility located in the mountains of South Korea, a team of engineers and scientists worked tirelessly. Led by Dr. Elena Kwan, a brilliant quantum engineering specialist, they were developing something the galaxy had never seen before. Her team included veterans from multiple scientific disciplines: aerospace engineers, quantum physicists, advanced AI specialists, and strategic military planners. The supercarrier prototype they were designing wasn't just a weapon. It was a complete reimagining of space combat technology. Each system was carefully crafted to be adaptable, intelligent, and completely unpredictable. The AI core they were developing could learn and adapt faster than any known alien technological system. "They think we're weak," Dr. Kwan would often tell her team. "They see our current technology and assume that's all we're capable of. But they're wrong." Back in the Galactic Council chamber, J. Park remained silent. As the human diplomatic representative, he was used to these humiliations. The aliens saw humanity as a young, inexperienced species, not worth serious consideration or respect. Little did they know that every insult, every moment of ridicule was being carefully recorded. Each dismissive comment was fuel for the human resolve. The more they were underestimated, the more powerful their eventual response would be. Krillax continued his speech, describing human colonies as vulnerable settlements that could be easily conquered. He spoke about humanity's limited interstellar travel capabilities and their primitive defense systems. Other alien representatives nodded, some even laughing openly. What they didn't see was the strategic patience building within the human leadership. Every technological limitation was being studied, analyzed, and prepared to be overcome. Project Horizon was humanity's insurance policy, a secret weapon that would change everything. Dr. Kwan's team worked in shifts, rotating through complex simulations and hardware tests. The supercarrier prototype was more than a military vessel. It was a statement, a technological marvel that would demonstrate humanity's true potential. The quantum stealth technology they were developing could render entire spacecraft invisible. The adaptive AI systems could predict and counter enemy tactics faster than any known computation method. The energy weapon configurations were revolutionary, capable of targeting multiple threats simultaneously with unprecedented precision. In the research facility, a wall displayed a countdown. Not a timer for a specific mission, but a representation of humanity's preparation. Each passing second brought them closer to revealing their true technological capabilities. "They will never see us coming," Dr. Kwan would often whisper to herself, reviewing the latest prototype simulations. Back in the Galactic Council, Captain J. Park allowed himself the smallest of smiles. The aliens continued their mockery, completely unaware that humanity was about to rewrite the rules of galactic engagement. The universe thought humans were weak. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The first warning came at 0300 hours Standard Galactic Time. Sensors on the outer human colony of Nueva Terra detected massive energy signatures approaching from the Orion sector. Lieutenant Hyun Lee, monitoring the long-range communication station, felt a cold shiver run down his spine. "Incoming vessels," he spoke into the communication array. "Multiple contacts. Definitely not standard traffic." The Krell invasion fleet emerged from quantum space like a swarm of metallic locusts. Their ships were brutal machines, angular, sharp-edged vessels designed purely for destruction. Plasma cannons glowed with murderous intensity, ready to obliterate anything in their path. Nueva Terra was a small agricultural colony, home to nearly 50,000 human settlers. Farmers, researchers, and their families looked up to see massive alien ships blocking out their sky. The colonial defense systems were minimal, designed more for asteroid protection than full-scale military confrontation. Commander Sarah Kim, stationed at the Colonial Defense Center, watched the tactical displays with increasing dread. The Krell ships were moving with calculated precision, systematically destroying communication relays and orbital defense platforms. "They're cutting us off," she muttered to her tactical team. No communication, no reinforcements. The first wave of Krell ground assault vehicles descended through the atmosphere. They looked like mechanical spiders, multiple legs supporting massive weapon systems. Each vehicle could carry 50 combat troops, equipped with plasma rifles and energy shields. Colonists scrambled. Some ran towards underground shelters. Others grabbed whatever defensive weapons they could find. But everyone knew the truth: they were completely outmatched. In orbit, the colonial defense ships tried to mount a resistance. 3 small frigates launched, their weapon systems charging. But the Krell fleet was overwhelming. Within minutes, 2 frigates were destroyed. The third managed to launch a few missile volleys before being obliterated. On the ground, the first Krell troops landed. Their exosuits were designed for maximum combat efficiency. Each soldier could lift several times their body weight, had built-in targeting systems, and carried weapons that could destroy armored vehicles. The colonists fought with everything they had. Farmers became soldiers. Researchers grabbed hunting rifles. But their resistance was futile. The Krell troops moved like a perfect machine, systematically clearing areas, capturing strategic points. Commander Kim made a final transmission before her command center was overrun. "This is Nueva Terra. We are under full-scale invasion. Request immediate." The transmission cut off abruptly. Across human communication networks, similar reports began flooding in. The Krell weren't just attacking one colony. This was a coordinated, massive invasion targeting multiple human settlements simultaneously. Back on Earth, military command went into high alert. Project Horizon, which had been kept secret for years, was about to be activated much earlier than anyone had planned. In the hidden orbital research stations, Dr. Elena Kwan watched the invasion reports. Her team had been preparing for this moment, not out of fear, but out of calculated preparation. "Initiate final system checks," she commanded. The supercarrier prototypes, which had been quietly developed over years, were about to be tested in real combat conditions. The Krell believed they were conducting a simple conquest. They saw humans as a weak species, easy to overwhelm. They didn't realize they were walking into a technological trap that would change galactic warfare forever. As Nueva Terra burned and other colonies sent desperate distress signals, something was brewing. The humans weren't just going to surrender. They were going to fight back, with technology that would shock the entire galaxy. The invasion had begun. But the real surprise was yet to come. The first hint of humanity's true technological might came unexpectedly. As the Krell invasion fleet continued its systematic destruction of human colonies, something changed. The UESDGO materialized seemingly from nothing. One moment, empty space; the next, a massive supercarrier that defied every known law of galactic warfare. Its quantum stealth technology made it invisible until the precise moment of attack, a breakthrough that no alien civilization had ever achieved. Commander J. Park stood on the bridge, his hands steady on the command console. The ship's adaptive AI system, which they called Aria, was processing combat scenarios faster than any biological intelligence could comprehend. "Target acquisition complete," Aria's neutral voice announced. Hundreds of drone swarms began deploying from the carrier's hull, each drone smaller than a human hand but packed with more computational and destructive power than entire alien battleships. The Krell fleet didn't even realize what was happening until their first wave of ships began disintegrating. The drones moved like a liquid metal storm, adapting instantaneously to every defensive configuration the aliens attempted. Plasma weapons that would have obliterated conventional human ships were simply redirected by the carrier's quantum shield technology. Energy pulses that should have destroyed entire sections of the ship were absorbed and converted into additional power. Dr. Elena Kwan watched from the secondary command center, a slight smile crossing her face. Years of secret research, of being mocked and underestimated, were now paying off in the most spectacular way possible. Each drone was more than just a weapon. They were learning machines, communicating with each other and the main carrier's AI at speeds that made traditional computer networks look like ancient telegraph systems. They could predict enemy movements, counter defensive strategies, and reconfigure attack patterns in milliseconds. The Krell commanders watched in horror as their supposedly superior invasion force was systematically dismantled. Entire battle groups disappeared within minutes, not through destruction, but through complete technological neutralization. "This is impossible," transmitted a Krell fleet commander, his voice a mixture of terror and disbelief. "How are they doing this?" Across multiple star systems, human colonies under attack suddenly found themselves witnessing the same phenomenon. The seemingly defenseless settlements were transforming, revealing hidden technological capabilities that no alien intelligence had ever anticipated. The UESDGO wasn't just a ship. It was a statement. A declaration that humanity was not what the galactic community believed them to be. Every system, every component had been designed with one core principle: unpredictability. Aria's combat algorithms were pulling data from thousands of historical conflicts, scientific simulations, and theoretical combat scenarios. It wasn't just fighting, it was learning, adapting, evolving with each passing second. Quantum communication networks allowed instant coordination between multiple supercarriers. What looked like isolated defensive actions were actually a perfectly synchronized global response. The Galactic Council's communication channels were flooding with confused and terrified transmissions. Alien races that had spent decades mocking humanity were now watching in stunned silence as human technology revealed itself to be generations ahead of anything they had imagined. Commander Park watched the tactical displays. Each destroyed Krell vessel was more than a victory. It was proof of human potential. A demonstration that being underestimated could be the most powerful strategic advantage. "Continue engagement," he told Aria. "Maximum efficiency. Minimum casualties." The AI's response was instantaneous. The drone swarms adjusted, their destructive capabilities now precisely calibrated to neutralize threats while minimizing collateral damage. Humanity had been preparing for this moment. Not out of aggression, but out of a deep, patient understanding that technology was the ultimate equalizer. The technological revelation was complete. The galaxy would never look at humans the same way again. As the last Krell ships disappeared from sensor ranges, a strange silence fell across human-controlled space. The invasion that was supposed to destroy humanity had instead transformed everything. Commander Sarah Kim received the first comprehensive battle report. The numbers were almost unbelievable. Humans had lost less than 0.03% of their colonial infrastructure. Every single Krell invasion force had been completely neutralized without a single human civilian casualty. The Galactic Council's emergency session became a moment of complete shock. Representatives from advanced civilizations stared in disbelief at holographic displays showing human technological capabilities. What they had considered impossible was now reality. Dr. Elena Kwan's team began analyzing the combat data. The supercarrier technologies had performed beyond even their most optimistic projections. Each system had worked perfectly: quantum stealth, adaptive AI, drone swarm coordination, everything was exactly as designed. Aria, the advanced AI system, continued processing battle information. It wasn't just tracking what happened during the conflict, but predicting potential future scenarios. The AI was learning, evolving, becoming more sophisticated with each passing moment. Commander J. Park understood this was more than a military victory. This was a fundamental shift in galactic power dynamics. Humanity had gone from being considered a joke to becoming the most technologically advanced civilization almost overnight. Communication networks buzzed with analysis. Military experts from different human colonies shared data, comparing notes on the unexpected victory. What looked like a coordinated response was actually a natural emergence of human technological synergy. The Krell leadership attempted to request diplomatic negotiations, but human representatives were now in a position of complete control. Years of mockery and diplomatic dismissal were about to be addressed. Tactical displays continued showing the remarkable efficiency of human defense systems. Each supercarrier had performed like a living, thinking entity. They weren't just weapons, they were intelligence systems capable of making complex strategic decisions faster than any biological intelligence. Quantum communication networks allowed instant coordination between different human defensive units. What appeared to be isolated defensive actions were actually a perfectly synchronized global response. No alien civilization had ever seen anything like this before. The technological gap between humans and other galactic civilizations was now impossible to ignore. Humanity had leapfrogged centuries of expected technological development in a single moment of conflict. Dr. Kwan's research team began preparing the next phase of technological development. The invasion had been a perfect real-world test of their theories. Now they could refine and improve their already revolutionary systems. Arya continued processing billions of combat scenarios, learning and adapting with each calculation. The AI was becoming more than just a computer system, it was developing a form of strategic intelligence that was uniquely human. Diplomatic channels around the galaxy were suddenly very interested in human technology. Civilizations that had previously ignored or mocked humanity were now desperately seeking communication and potential technology exchange agreements. Commander Park understood the larger implications. This wasn't just about military technology. This was about proving humanity's potential to adapt, innovate, and overcome challenges that seemed impossible. The supercarrier technologies represented more than weapons. They were a statement about human creativity, patience, and strategic thinking. Years of being underestimated had been transformed into a moment of absolute technological supremacy. As reports continued flooding in, one thing became clear: the galaxy would never view humans the same way again. What was once considered a minor, insignificant species had just demonstrated capabilities that would reshape galactic civilization. The strategic transformation was complete. Humanity had arrived. The aftermath of the Krell invasion changed everything. Diplomatic stations across multiple star systems became centers of intense discussions about humanity's sudden technological emergence. Diplomat Min Kim stood before the Galactic Council, representing humanity with a calm that surprised even veteran alien ambassadors. Behind him, holographic displays showed detailed records of the recent conflict, a demonstration of human technological superiority that could not be denied. "We are not looking for conflict," Min Kim stated clearly. "But we will defend ourselves with absolute precision." The quantum communication networks that humanity had developed became the new standard of interstellar communication. Other civilizations scrambled to understand technologies that humans had quietly developed over decades of patient research. Dr. Elena Kwan's research team began receiving invitations from alien scientific communities. What was once mockery had transformed into desperate requests for technological collaboration. The Supercarrier project was no longer a secret, it was a galactic landmark of human innovation. Arya, the advanced AI system, continued analyzing potential future scenarios. It wasn't just a computer system anymore, it had become something more. A strategic intelligence that could predict and prevent conflicts before they even began. Commander J. Park understood this was more than a military victory. This was a complete restructuring of galactic power dynamics. Humanity had transformed from a marginalized species to the most technologically advanced civilization almost overnight. The hidden research stations that had developed the supercarrier technologies began receiving massive funding. Governments and private organizations across human colonies invested everything into continued technological development. Alien civilizations that had previously ignored humanity now sought diplomatic relations. Trade agreements, technology exchanges, and collaborative research projects became the new normal. The galaxy's political landscape was being rewritten. Human colonies that were once considered vulnerable became centers of technological innovation. Agricultural settlements transformed into research hubs. Every human settlement became a potential center of advanced technological development. The quantum stealth technologies developed for the supercarriers began finding applications in multiple fields. Medical research, environmental protection, space exploration, humanity's innovations were changing everything. Aria's learning algorithms continued evolving. The AI was developing capabilities that went beyond military applications. It was becoming a tool for solving complex global and interstellar challenges. Diplomatic meetings became forums of genuine respect. The alien representatives who had once mocked humanity now listened carefully to every word spoken by human diplomats. Commander Sarah Kim oversaw the development of the next generation of supercarrier technologies. What had been a defensive project was now becoming a collaborative exploration of human potential. The Galactic Council's structure began changing. Humanity was no longer a footnote, they were a primary decision-maker. Their technological capabilities demanded respect and careful consideration. Dr. Kwan's team understood that this was just the beginning. The technologies they had developed were not an endpoint, but a starting point for even more incredible innovations. Communication networks buzzed with excitement. Humans who had once been considered insignificant were now seen as the most innovative civilization in known space. The quantum shield technologies developed during the Krell invasion began finding applications in protecting entire planetary systems. What was once a military technology was becoming a tool for universal protection. Aria continued its endless calculations, learning, growing. The AI represented something more than a computer system, it was a testament to human creativity and potential. Diplomat Min Kim smiled slightly during a particularly intense council meeting. The galaxy had underestimated humanity for too long. Now, everything had changed. The new galactic paradigm was clear. Humanity was not just a participant in interstellar civilization. They were now its primary architects.